Hey, do world. My
Like
name is
Jimmy.
Kamal J. Pryor, Quiz or Quizmax or Quizmax Inc. How are you today? I'm here with a bunch of lovely ladies to do a wonderful webinar about stay-at-home moms and business. Now, I know there are a lot of misconceptions about women in business. So before I get into any of that sort of stuff, I'd like to introduce to you guys some of our panelists here. First off, we have President of Quizmax INK, President Patty Chapman, also IQ Connect Executive Brand Partner. Wave at the audience, say hi, Patty.
Hello, everybody.
We also have Miss Nicole Burchett, who's also an Executive Brand Partner with IQ Connect. Wave and say hi to the audience. We're also joined by Miss Kimberly Smith of Ingresso Cybernetical, also the founder of Early Birds Gifts. And we'll get a chance to talk. And we're also joined by my Director of Affairs here at Quizmatics Inc., Miss Emma Satin, who's also an executive brand partner with IQ Life.
Good morning.
Fantastic. So before I get into all of this stuff and tell you the reason why I'm doing this webinar, I really want the ladies to be able to express themselves pretty freely. So I'm going to actually pass the microphone to President Patty Chapman. And President Patty Chapman, you're more than welcome to moderate this conversation. I'm interested to hear what you ladies have to say.
Awesome. I basically just want to go around and speak with everybody about how they got started working from home. So I would love to hear from Miss Nicole about how you got started working from home.
Oh gosh, that takes me back a couple years. You guys, I've been involved in like corporate companies for a long time. When my son was born, I barely got 3 months maternity leave, and then was back to dropping him off at daycare at 8:30 in the morning, picking him up at 6:30, cooking dinner, and then putting him back to bed to do it again. I never saw him. I feel like I missed his whole entire life, and I'm gonna cry right now. Sorry. I was blessed to be pregnant again, and you guys, I walked away from a 6-figure job, and I said I would not do that again. I would not miss my child's life, and I left everything. I sold my boat, my cars, my house, and I've been home every single day with my son, and I feel like I have another chance. And I don't care if you're making $10 from home. There's no price worth missing time like that. And if you could skip to somebody else for a little bit before I break off.
Yes, stop for a moment, because honestly, I am actually moved and I'm touched. Because right now, you're actually explaining is that, because listen, I'm not a woman, all right, and I don't have any children. But I can just see from the emotion that this is a very, 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 very difficult thing to do. First off, to have the courage to actually try to work from home, all right, and actually be able to do this, stay with your child. And I just think that that's entirely commendable. What do you think, Patty Chapman? Do you think that that's a commendable?
Oh, definitely.
So, listen.
Yeah, I feel where Nicole's coming from, too.
All right, now listen. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't really like the way we really started this webinar, so I'm going to just stop and hold the presses for a moment, because President Patty Chapman, you have not explained to these people who you are, nor told them about yourself. So let me do that real quick, all right, President Patty Chapman?
You got it.
Well, introduce yourself first, naturally.
All right. Well, I actually started online marketing and wanting to stay home because my boss was selling a business, and I had been there for 8 years, and I loved it. It was a family, so it wasn't like a job. And I was like, I don't want to go to a job. I want to be with my son. After I didn't have a job for a while, so I found online marketing, and I started making money that way. And I actually ran into a company that allowed me to stay home with my son and pay my rent. And I worked hard to do that, and it was a challenge, definitely. I didn't have the support at home. I was always being bashed by the people for my family, and it was like I had to be encouraged by myself and look at my why, which is my son and our future. And that's what made me want to be a stay-at-home mom that has a business. You know, I want to be able to take care of my family and spend time with my son. I didn't want to miss out, and I had to go back to work at 4 months with my son, and it was the toughest thing I ever had to do. I always said oh yeah, it's no big deal, I'll work and drop my kid off at daycare, but once it's a reality, you're like, oh, I don't want to do this, I don't trust anybody. That's like your little baby, you know? So, but that's basically my story.
Wow, so it sounded like it was difficult to do this stuff as well.
Oh yeah, it's definitely difficult, and you have to make sure you do time management and set time aside for your business and for your children, because it's important. Both things are, because this business allows me to stay home with my son, so I need to make that time. And all you guys know, I make a lot of time for my business and my kid, and I cut the sleep out. But I get it in when I need it. So, but I would love to hear some more about Nicole, but I don't think she's ready. So let's move on to Miss Emma. Would you love to tell us about your experience and how you started to be a stay?
I started originally about 18 months ago with a company here in France. Actually a German company called LR, selling aloe vera products. And unfortunately, in the area that I lived in, it wasn't all online, it was offline. And I live in a very much an agricultural part of France, in Jazz. There's very little money, very little jobs. And I started doing that because I wanted my own independent financial freedom. Even though I do have my children are a lot older than Patty's or Nicole's. So my youngest is 12 now. Anyway, so I played around with marketing, and then eventually I came across a company I enjoyed working with, simply because of social media, and I like social media, you know, I enjoy doing it. And it also gives me the opportunity to financially become independent, but at the same time, I'm not having to go out and try and find a job in an area that I live where it's absolutely impossible. Never mind for a French person, you know, for a foreigner, it's near on impossible. And that's not down to the fact that, I mean, I'm bilingual, but it's just purely down to the fact there's a lack of jobs, a huge lack of jobs. Anyway, so I'm obviously, as you know, I'm with IQ. I'm with Patty and Rina, you know, and I enjoy what I do. I'm here now at 4 minutes to 3 in the morning, you know, but I will repeat what Patty said, because it's exactly the same. We will be there and we will work when we have to work. You know, the sleep comes later. You know, you have 3 hours sleep at 5 o'clock in the afternoon, my time, in order to be here to talk to everybody tonight, or this morning even. And that's me, that's my story.
Awesome. All right. That was an amazing story, Emma. And we all have a lot of things in common with the struggles and stuff. So. All right. Hey, Nicole, how are you doing?
I got disconnected. I don't know how.
That's okay. No worries. All right. So how did you get started in general with, like, how were you introduced to online marketing working from home?
Are you talking to me?
Yes, Nicole.
So when I chose to stay home, I brought some of my clients. I sell health insurance, Medicare, Medicaid, stuff like that. And so I started taking care of some of my clients from home. And after I had the baby, I found that I couldn't really do that much. So I started looking into online type stuff, and then I randomly ran into IQ and kind of took off from there.
Yeah, and you've been doing amazing with that.
Yeah, it's definitely been a good thing for my family. Very
Awesome,
blessed.
awesome. All right. What have been your struggles, working from home, and how do you conquer the challenges?
Well, obviously, at times, my son's crying or he wants attention, and I have a conference call or a webinar. I try my best to be on a certain type of schedule, but at least it's my schedule. And if I say no, then I'm not really letting down my business. Or it's like if you say no at work, then you're written up, or you could get fired.
Yeah.
And I think, like, I've always, I've chose to make my family my priority, and I do care about my work and my people, but this is why I chose to do what I do, and there's nothing that can beat that. Is that it is my schedule, and it is, my power to say that. So.
Awesome. All right. That's a great answer, Nicole. I also agree with that. I definitely do. And Kim here. She owns her own business. Amazing. Bluebird, I've checked it out. How about you? How did you get started working from home, Miss Kim?
Well, I wanted to start working from home years ago, so probably close to 15 years ago. I had a dream of working from home to take care of my kids because I was very much similar to Nicole. I became a single mom when my 4 children were very little. So I had a 3-year-old, a 2-year-old, a 1-year-old, and a 5-month-old. And very similar to Nicole, all of a sudden having to do the whole motherhood thing on your own was in itself frightening. But I decided that I wasn't going to let that stop me, and I was going to find a way. So I ended up having to do the get up at 4 o'clock in the morning, put babies together, put them in a stroller, and actually walk 3 miles to a daycare, leave them at the daycare to walk another 2 blocks to ride 4 buses to go and go to work. Anyway, so we did this for a while, and I was determined that I was not going to let my children down, so I got very little sleep. And I looked and looked and looked and looked online all the time for work at home. I wanted to find a way I could raise my babies, and I know a lot of people who watch this is going to think, oh, it's a scam, it's not real, I've heard all this stuff, and honestly, I thought and I seen and I experienced the same thing, and it was a very unsuccessful experience for me when it was finding a work-at-home type scenario. Well, then years later, I have now a bunch of teenagers, and my daughter recently had a little girl 2 years ago, so I am a very young grandma, and I made the executive decision that I dedicated my life to a secure paycheck, knowing that it was going to be there every 2 weeks, not doing the whole sales thing and the commissions thing and the worrying if I was going to be able to support my children on my own, because I was scared. It scared me. It was terrifying, and I had a lot of responsibilities that playing with my money, the little bit I had, was just not a risk I was willing to take. Then when my granddaughter was born 2 years ago, I decided I was not going to do it again. I wanted to be the grandma that she deserved. And so I moved back to Washington State, and I got closer to my granddaughter, and I started earlybirdgifts.net. And I am all about customer service. I'm all about helping others. I love to help people. I love to see people light up. I love to see people get a deal. And so Early Bird Gifts was my passion to find a gift, come to my store, and it's online so you can shop anytime. The online side of it is very valuable to everyone out there looking, but it was very valuable to me because it was something I could do from home. Now, honestly, it was a struggle. It didn't really do anything for almost 2 years. It was slow as molasses, but I just kept plugging away because I still had a source of income with my job. I did not give that up. But then I found IC, and they just exploded. It just exploded. I mean, they have all the online tools that they say they do. They have all the networking that they say they do. They have all the teamwork that they say they do. And I was very thankful, and I found IC through the very thing that I love, and that is online marketing and networking. And here I am today. I got the privilege of meeting Patty and all the other people in this webinar through that process.
Awesome, awesome. IC is an amazing, amazing place to be in. Yeah. And IQ, you guys.
And IQ.
And IQ. Yes, I'm a part of IQ now too.
Yay!
I think we're all doing great. And we're all having an amazing time being able to spend time with our families, and we all agree that's amazing, and that's the reason why we're staying at home, is because of our kids. And we are definitely lucky to have found these programs that help us out, because so many people are scammed. Myself, I actually started in November last year, so I'm very lucky that I didn't get jerked around as much as a lot of other people. I mean, I put in the programs to make it, and I didn't have a job. You know, I was using whatever money I had saved, and I was just chugging forward, and, you know, I'm going to make it, I'm going to do this, you know, and I did it, and I'm making it now, and making my dreams come true. Are your dreams coming true, you guys?
Yeah, whether it takes 6 months or 1 year, to build up your business and sacrifice that little amount of time for what your future is going to be, like, it's worth those struggles. Like, I'm starting to buy my car back and buy my boat back, and, I sacrificed that time, and I wouldn't trade it for the world. And I think a lot of people get scared of that first step, leaving the corporate world and their security and comfort zone, for the what if, and, you just have to stick with it. Do what you can to make ends meet with what you need, and, 2 years is not a bad time.
Not at all.
To get your business going. So, I'm in this 6 months, and I'm not where I want to be, but I know it's coming.
Oh yeah, very soon.
So, it's worth it.
Awesome.
Do you mind if I interject here for a moment?
Yes.
All right, so what I'm hearing here is that working from home as a mom, I'm seeing the emotion here. I'm seeing a lot of the, I'm hearing a lot of similar sort of stuff, and I'm finding that you guys are really finding your place kind of on your own. So, I mean, all of us on the panel are basically in the States, and there's one person that we have that's all the way in the UK, in France. So, Miss Emma, if you don't mind me asking you real quick, can you relate to the stories that the other ladies are saying, or is this just something that, or do you have those same sort of issues when you're out there in the UK?
No, I can very much relate to what everybody else is saying. And it's very much the same here. Whether you're in the UK or in France or you're in Spain, the only thing is that in Europe, there's a lot less female marketers out there. There's a lot less people that are willing to go the extra mile, I suppose. I'm willing to put themselves out there in order to become independent, to walk away from a job, to be able to actually earn enough money online to be able to walk away from a job. You know, there are so many women here that, you know, they're financially bound, either because they're a job, they've got children, they're separated, they're divorced, etc., etc. But but I think maybe it is mindset. They do not have, and I don't understand, even I don't understand it, but they don't have the courage, I suppose, to actually put themselves out forward and be willing to put in, you know, 18 hours a day. You know, at the end of the day, at the beginning, that's what you've got to do, and that's what I still do. You know, but they don't understand. They don't understand the mindset behind it. Maybe it's just it's a cultural thing. I've always looked at it in lots of different aspects, and the same with Australia and so on and so forth. And there is, in Central Europe, there is very much a different type of mentality. Mothers will, they'll be more inclined to actually struggle than to say, right, okay, I'm going to go on the internet, I'm going to have a look, there's what's out there. There's got to be something out there that fits me as an individual, where I can actually pay my bills, pay my mortgage, you know, buy whatever I need, so there's food on the table, etc., etc. And they just don't do that. I don't understand why. I'm trying to change it. But people look at you as though you've got 5 heads. You do not understand that it is absolutely 100% possible and plausible, and you can go out there and you can do it, and you can make the money to pay for the bills and pay for the groceries and everything else that you want. You don't have to go and work a 9-to-5 job. You don't have to depend on welfare. It is not. You have an option. You have got a choice, and it might take you, you know, as everybody here has already said, that could take you 2 months. It could take 2 months. It could take you 2 years to find the niche where you need to be as an individual, where you can be successful. But there is very much a different mindset here, and quite frankly, I'm desperately trying to change it. But you know, you can't always change people. But people are watching me and they're watching what I do. And as Jamal and Paddy both know, I'm heavily involved in, I don't know if you know this company, or Nicole, I'm actually heavily involved in a charity here in France, which is called the Restaurant du Cœur, which is a restaurant of the heart. And basically a food distribution. And I'm there 3 days a week when we're not doing our actual campaign. Which tomorrow morning I'm up in, what are we now? I'm up in 4 hours. You get my kids up, at the school, and I'm there at 8:30, 8:30 at the very latest. And I see a lot of people terrible situations. In situations where, you know, sometimes they think, well, you know, hang on, you can actually do something about this. And they watch you, and they are, you know, they can't understand. You know, I come in, you know, my eyes are down like that, you know, and I have to drink 5 pints of coffee before I can actually start doing it and start functioning. You know, they look at me and say, oh, what do you do? You know, outside. And I explain to them what I do. They look at me almost blankly, you know, and they say, well, hang on a minute, how does that work? You explain a bit more. And they go, oh, okay. And I said, well, you know, I mean, you can. You can get into one of these businesses if you really want to. All you need is a computer or a smartphone. And obviously, if you join IQ, you obviously have a joining fee every month. But don't forget, we have one thing better than you do. We have the exchange rate. You know, so for us, it's less than half the price. If you know what I mean, in our currency in euros. And you see them outside. And I'm not being critical here. Everybody, does and lives their lives in their own way. But I see them out there, and they've got enough money for their cigarettes, they've got enough money for their coffee, and so on and so forth. I'm sorry, guys, it costs less than a packet of cigarettes. John, it costs less than a packet of cigarettes. And some of these people smoke up to 2 packs a day. It's just insanity. I'm sorry, it's just perfect, and it drives me crazy. It drives me crazy sometimes.
Well, that is amazing. That's amazing. Now, of all the ladies, and I know all of you guys personally, so I know that President Patty, I think you have the youngest child, and really what I want to get into is that, all right, I hear that you guys have a lot of things that you have to go through and whatnot, and you have to get up earlier to make the sacrifice, and you have to start early and all of this good stuff, but how do you actually manage and balance having a young child while you're actually in the middle of doing your business, and are you able to get enough hours with your child, or how does that work out while you're working from home and having to discipline a small child?
Well, basically, you have to make sure you spend time with him. My son lets me know if I'm not spending enough time with him. He starts to get an attitude, so I'm like, I have to reevaluate myself and be like, okay, I know I need to work hard to start this business, but I still need to set time aside for my son, multiple times this day, and certain days of the week are just for him. So like Mondays and then half of my Fridays I spend just with him. We actually go out on dates, me and my son, for dinner. He's gonna be 2 in December, and I'm already, I want to start things with him like this. So you got to have time for your kids. And that's one thing that I stress. I really got to spend more time with him. Lately, I've been kind of slacking off, but today we spent a lot of good time together.
Fantastic.
Your kid will tell you.
So, ladies, we've had a nice little webinar here. We've had tons of time to get to know you guys. And, there's maybe like one more question I really want to know. All right. And I guess that I can start with, I might as well start with Kim here. Now, I'm a man, and a lot of men are sometimes old-fashioned, and some men just probably really don't understand that, it's important for a woman to be independent and have her own business or be able to do things. Because obviously, clearly from you guys, are a wonderful example that you actually can have a business and run from home. So, is it difficult with you guys dealing with the stigma of perhaps men that are saying that maybe, you should just stay home and let me, take care of your finances, or, how is it actually as being independent and dealing with the stigma that many men feel as though maybe a woman is not worthy of actually having a business or being a business person, and maybe staying home is just, that they're really just sitting in their butt all day long, and and they're the really primary breadwinner. How do you feel about that, and how do you deal with that?
Who are you asking?
You're asking me? I thought you were asking Kim, right?
Yes.
Kim.
Okay, I wasn't sure. So I have came across that type of scenario, so that's an excellent question. The bottom line is there's 1,000 things out there in this world, and the biggest thing is if you look back, regret is the worst, because you wish you would have tried. And so I just, it's like I tell my kids, they're all grown now. They're 20, how old are they? They're 20, 18, 17, and 15. So my youngest is 15 years old, and then I got my little 2-year-old granddaughter, and so I have more freedom now than I did when they were much littler. But the one thing that I do tell them, and I tell other people, especially people, like men and so forth, when they want to say, well, you can't do it because you're a girl, or you shouldn't do it, you should just be focused on this. I tell them, I said, there's a lot of things that you will experience in your lifetime, and the one thing that I said very, very young, when I was 18 years old, is I will never this, I will never that, I will never this. And then life happened. And a lot of the things that I said I would never do are the very things that I did, or I would, or I could, or I did. And so please don't take my independence away. Please don't take my self-confidence away. Please don't take my self-worth away, and let me keep what's true to me, and that's my business. I get to help people every day. I get to make people smile every day. I get to make people feel good about themselves every day. And in the process, I'm making some money. So if that bothers you, I guess I'm not the person for you. Because making the world go round in a positive, throw out the negative, keep all the positive, and everything would be better.
I love that answer. I think that's just really rejuvenating and refreshing. How about you, President Patty?
Ah, yes. I totally agree.
And also, I think that that's important. It's important for women to know that you can empower yourself. You can empower yourself. You do not have to. You can be a victor. You don't have to be a victim. And you know, regardless of what society thinks or how society feels, there's a place for you to work from home. One of the biggest messages that I perpetuate here at Quizmatics Inc. is the fact that you can be an independent. You do not have to be dependent upon somebody else's dream to finance your life. It takes a little bit of courage, it takes a little bit of heart, it takes some persistence. You may have to get out of your comfort zone. Like Emma over here, you may end up having to get up early in the morning. It's 3-something in the morning where she's at, and she got up just to join us to do this webinar right here. Just because some girl out there right now may need some motivation, may need some inspiration, may need to know that it can be done. Or just like President Patty here, who has a 2-year-old, and they call the terrible tools. Terrible tools because the kid is running around and they're trying to get into everything, and at the same time she's running a business. All right? And just because it's social media does not mean it's not business. President Patty has over 3,500 people beneath her. All right? More than that. And that means that obviously she's a testimony to her work. And when it comes to Miss Kim Smith here, Miss Kim Smith has a wonderful business, Early Bird Gifts. The holidays are coming around soon. My birthday just passed. All right, I might have to go back there and pick up some stuff just because I missed out on an opportunity then. But Christmas is going to be here before we know it. And Early Bird Gifts is a phenomenal business, and I've been there myself. I endorse it. And not only does she sell wonderful gifts, she also allows you an opportunity to get digital products with Ingresso Cybernetico. And the tools from Ingresso Cybernetico are clearly taking her business to the entirely next level. So for all of you at home who are watching this webinar, who are thinking that maybe if there's something out there for me, perhaps maybe if maybe I don't have to sit around and go to the welfare line or go to the unemployment office and wait around for an opportunity. Perhaps maybe the thing in my best interest is to create one. And clearly, by the testimony of these ladies right here, it is possible, it is doable. In fact, it is past possible, it's beyond possible, it's beyond doable.
And we can help.
Yes, and we
will help.
And you can find any one of these ladies out here, anywhere you're at, and you can easily find them by just visiting us right here, all right, at Quizmatics Inc. www.quizmaticsink.com. And believe me, if you leave your information and contact and you say the person that you'd like to meet, I'll be more than happy to link you up with them. So my name is Kamal J. Pryor, aka Quizmatics Inc. And thank you for spending your time and hearing these phenomenal stories. And before I conclude, I'd like to leave the last word as far as anything that you'd like to say, that you'd like to inspire a young lady who may be considering going into business to President Patty Chapman.
Well, you want to take control of your life. You don't want to have a boss anymore. If you're a young pregnant woman, which is happening a lot nowadays, no, you can have a job and start a business, you know, at a young age and eventually be a millionaire at like 30. You know, I started a little late, but it's not too late for any age to get in and get started and just start building a business for yourself and for your future. It's way better than a regular job. I will never do a 9-to-5 job ever again. I will ask for help from someone before I ever go to a 9-to-5 job again.
Absolutely. That's fantastic. And that's the message that we actually put together this webinar to perpetuate for you to understand. So thank you very much for watching our webinar, and we look forward to your success in the future. If you're a person who's maybe considering getting into business, like I said, get in contact with one of the ladies. They'll be more than happy to help you out. And when the holidays come around, make sure you go get early birds. Early birds.
Yeah.
Earlybirdgifts.net.
All right, so everybody, let's say goodbye.
At the top, not from the top.
Bye.
Take care. Think quiz.